It's like,
Yeah, exactly.
and it kind of puts things to a weird place, obviously, in the conversation. So it's like, oh, we don't want to go there.
Totally.
Yeah.
So what's been going on, man?
With me?
Yeah.
N- Nearly 14 feet underground with
Nice.
you
Very
right
nice.
now.
No place I'd rather be, man.
I feel the same way. That's wonderful. I'm warm right now. I'm feeling it. I'm
Thanks
feeling
for
I'm
having me,
feeling
man, you know?
house music. We have been
Yes.
at it tonight with the four on the floor genre, and if you've been liking and following playlists, buying tracks from a variety of retailers, or catching live sets from a massive amount of DJs, then you've been hearing some of this man's productions. With influences of early funk, soul, disco, and 90s hip hop, this is house music that soothes the soul and shakes the tush simultaneously. From Toronto, rising star, please welcome to the utility room, Vincent Caira.
What's going on?
We're double dosing tonight. I had Andy Roberts. It's house music in the
Nice.
utility room this week. What's the last name origin? Cara. This is this
It's
is
Caira, and it's Italian, so believe it or not.
okay. So I said it wrong. How come you didn't correct me on the intro?
You know what? You got a lot closer, so I let it slide, you know?
Okay, why? What are some of the funnier ways that you've heard your last name
Oh,
said to you?
man. Sierra, Caira.
Sierra,
Yeah.
but it's CAI.
Yeah, no, I know. That's why. It's like the
Okay,
I's after the A.
all right, right. So Italian.
Yeah.
Do you make traditional foods?
Like the pizzas, the pastas, the panzerottis, all of it. Yeah.
I want to know. You do?
Yeah, yeah, I do all of it.
Okay, so how is it? How would you grade it?
My own? Okay, let's say I'm gonna give myself an 8 out of 10 if I was to rank it. 8 out of 10. Just
I
some
want in.
grandmother traditions passed down, you know? Watched her cook a fair amount of Italian, whatever you want to call it, foods,
Okay.
desserts, some tiramisu. My tiramisu is pretty good.
No kidding. I want. I want. It's
I'll
actually
make it for you one time. Yeah, we're all gonna
I'm
hang in soon. Hopefully now that stuff's starting to
it's
open back
feeling
up.
like we're getting closer to the end of I'm not quite sure what this has been.
Yeah, the
You
light
know,
is glimming there now.
whether you're on the left of it or the right of it, whichever way you lean, like I don't think either either of us know quite what this
Oh,
was.
I have no idea, man. It's just like, okay.
How have you been? Did you have an emotional roller coaster through this,
Um,
or have you been
well,
pretty steady?
I mean, even before this, uh, I was pretty much just locking myself into the studio for the most
Right.
part, minus obviously playing the gigs and the parties. Everything's kind of on that front. It's kind of been the same. Obviously, a little bit less social interaction altogether, but as from a working standpoint, it's kind of been the same. If not, I'm kind of myself in here a little bit more. But as emotions go, I guess maybe a little bit of just boredom, you know?
I got to tell you, I almost called you up and asked you to play instead of us talking, and it's not because I didn't want to hang. Obviously, I do, but it's because I felt like partying to your music. Like I'm like Thursday night. I'm feeling like the vibes, and then just talking about house music, and I'm like, you know what, you know, I'm like, I wonder where he'd be at if I was like, what if we change the plans tonight and just go all music? And I'll bet you that we could with you easily as well. It wouldn't be like a
Oh no, yeah.
copyright nightmare, right? There
No,
would be
no,
no
no.
strikes against the channel tonight because I mean, could you lay down a full hour right now of unreleased music and just
Totally, totally. An hour, no problem.
No problem.
release. Yeah, no problem.
What came first, the production or the DJing?
Definitely the DJing from maybe I'm 26 now. I'd say 10 years ago is when I got the bug and kind of bought my first little MIDI controller there that kind of got me hooked onto all this stuff, right? So maybe the production I'd say started 6, 7 years ago, but definitely the DJing was what got me into all this types of music.
What was the fuel? What was the thing? Did you find yourself missing pieces in the sets that you were playing? Did you
Uh,
did you did you long for the idea of other people to hear your music or play your music?
I was just so obsessed with all of it when I first started really getting into it, and just hearing a lot of local DJs doing like not necessarily live streams, but some radio broadcasts. And I was like, oh, that's cool. These guys are like playing their own music. Like I want to do that too, you know? So that's kind of where I started to think, okay, how do I start doing this? What do I have to download? I started watching a bunch of videos on YouTube, tutorials, and yeah, just kept going with it, you know, from there.
Do you feel like a kindred relationship with house music as a DJ before the production came in? Is like, do you feel like what you were selecting was very similar to what it is that you're outputting today?
You know what? Definitely. I've always been drawn towards a little bit more of the repetitive four to the floor style of dance music. So yeah, I could say that. I like that track. I like having a track build and have the groove, you know? Like it's for me it's more about the groove than anything else, I find.
Did you did you hear that, or was it just
No,
me?
no, I did not hear that at all. We got some extra guests in the house, or
I've been living here for about a year, so I think I would know. I haven't had that vibe. Is this the time for me to tell a ghost story? I could. I have a ghost story. Not
no?
here. Not here, but thank gosh.
Yeah, I haven't had any of those.
No,
Thank God.
no paranormal experiences.
No, I'm thankful for it though.
It was on tour too.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Prepping or like you were at the party and it was kind of like
No, 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 no. It was later on in the hotel. This is
true.
where are we going here? Do you want me to go? You want me to go? I
Let's
think I'm
hear some
actually.
of it. Let's hear some of it.
It's because I can go into a super detail. I'm just gonna very short. It was in British Columbia. It was on the island. The island is already known as a very spiritual place, and in some areas of the island, more so.
Okay.
And I stayed at a very old motel, and uh, some freaky shit happened in the middle of the night, and
Damn.
uh, and it made me pack my shit up and get the fuck out of there.
Oh my
Like,
God.
yeah, and
I would have
and
done the
and
same.
and like I was with somebody at the time. That person, I'm like, that person's probably watching the show right now. And anyways, so it's not like I was like imagining it. And then that's all I'm gonna say. I mean, like, I don't know. I feel like I'm hijacking this right now. It scared the shit out of me enough that I packed up my stuff and left.
Damn.
And I don't know. What do you want me to say?
So it was after the show.
It was after the
Okay.
show. Yes, it was. I think all that detail is blurry. I was away. I don't know for weeks
Okay.
at a time, and it was a middle stop. It was a midweek stop. It was a smaller town on the island, and
Cool. Sounds like a vibe.
yeah, I know it was like 150 people in the room, and great for it. It was
Nice.
it was something in the middle of the week, so that you don't have to fly home, and then you're able to do the weekend again. Somewhere
Yeah.
somewhere close by. That type of idea. You know. Um, and I love it. I love small towns. I feel like, in fact, sometimes I've had some experiences that have, what happened here? Boise, Idaho is my favorite hero story I could tell.
Okay.
Have you ever been?
No, I've never been.
Would you ever go to Boise, Idaho?
Believe it or not, I actually have a family member that was dating someone from there, so I've heard a lot of stuff about it, but I've never been.
Okay. Sure. I mean, I
I would
feel like the
definitely go.
name is more popular than the actual idea of people visiting there.
Okay.
And people know Boise, but people don't know if they've been to Boise.
Okay.
Right? It'd be like, maybe they've stopped there as like as a hub or something. Or I think there's a really big school that's there. I went there and absolutely loved it, and had like this super religious experience playing. I couldn't believe it. The place was supposed to fit 400, but somehow they put like 450 in there. I've got a
Okay.
photo of like literally people hanging off of this. So the
The
ceiling
walls.
wasn't very high, so people like it's so rammed and everyone just going for it at the same time. And it was like had it. It was like what? Like where here now this? Okay,
Let's do it.
yeah. Well, that's what it is. So listen, can we let's move back
Okay.
because yeah, right? Is house music forever?
Oh yeah.
So how is it that your influences from hip hop tie into what you're doing?
a lot a lot of the 90s drum programming that was done on the MPC 3000s or the SP 1200s. There's just something about the swing that those hip hop records bring that kind of I try to bring into a house setting. It's fairly I feel like hip hop is fairly similar in that sense where the drums, the swing, the snare is a very important part of at least how I make music. I feel like a lot of the hip hop records that I like from the 90s kind of have that boom bop kind of style to them, right? So that's definitely where I try to bring the hip hop element into what I make house music.
If you were to gather all of your music together and it became a soundtrack, what
Okay.
existing film could you merge it with?
Film?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a tough one.
Why do you think it would be game?
I don't know. I'm not the biggest on film, so it's gonna take me a second to kind of think of one that would match it. You know?
Okay, so then hold on for a second. What is it that you're seeing when you're doing it? What is it? Do you have a visual that's going on?
That's a good question. Maybe there is that I'm not that aware of, just because I find that when I'm in that box, in that kind of element, I'm kind of just going with the flow, whatever's kind of around. I'm just kind of instead of a visual representation, I'm looking more for like a feeling, trying to envision how this is going to sound and work at an actual party, right? That's where I'm
Okay, so
kind
you
of
so you're
trying
so
to
you're
vision.
seeing the party.
Yeah, that I could say I'm trying to kind of seeing the crowd, or okay, I'm seeing people kind of, you know, groove into this or bobbing their head. That's gonna get people putting their hands in the air, that kind of stuff.
What is this party? Is it a warehouse? Is it a raid? Is it outside? Is it on a beach?
It's definitely outside. It's definitely
It's
outside.
outside.
Probably like yeah, definitely outside, and it's definitely probably during the day, and it's definitely maybe close to like a beach or like some nice summer tropical weather's going on. You know?
Summer and tropical weather, and it's a beach.
Like
Do you
Ibiza is kind of where I try
okay?
to envision all
All
my
right. No,
songs
no,
being
no.
played,
I
right?
yeah. I'm trying to get to that. I guess I'm just thinking that when you're sitting down and that you're banging away, what is it that you're seeing while you're doing it? Because when I listen to the music, obviously what I'm going to see, I want to see if it was going to be the same. That's what I guess I'm trying to get to right now.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
like are we seeing the same thing? Because I think to myself that when you're making your music, you're gathering obviously your feelings, and then the broadcast is that's the message. And so, what is it? What is it? What's the screen? What's on screen? What's on screen for Vincent? You know,
What's on screen? Like
the mental screen. That's so what you're seeing, but you're seeing a party. Does the music exist outside of the party?
it definitely exists outside of the party. Uh I some of the songs I make kind of have a more of a listening kind of vibe as opposed to say getting people up to dance. I like kind of having things that are a little bit lower on the tempo, chilling, kind of just something that builds an atmosphere. That's
Do
what I
you
try to always go for.
do you check out streams where you see the type of environment where you would want, like, even if your music's not being played there, where you're like, I would want my music there.
Yeah, like during the lockdown especially, I've been watching a lot of the boiler room style events that were going on, and I was like, man, that would definitely be a setting where I went to the one in Toronto, so it was just a vibe itself, just so inspiring, right? And I was like, wow, okay, the people here are all like jamming, they're there for the music. That's definitely the vibe.
I'm I'm curious right now that do you use a mic while you're performing?
No, I don't. I can't say I have. There's the odd time I'll plug my headphones into the the mic there and say like one or two things maybe at the end, but nothing. I'm definitely not on the mic a lot.
Why is that?
I'm not too sure to be honest. I just usually I've never really asked for one to be there, and um, I don't know. I feel like when I'm just in the zone, I kind of just like to have my head down, just kind of completely focused. I like to try to instead of talk, kind of like make the music do the talking. But I probably should talk a little bit more on the microphone here and there, you know?
Well, I was gonna ask, do you think that it's an essential ingredient for a DJ set?
I don't think it's essential, but it's definitely nice to have sometimes, or I guess it depends on who's playing and who's using the microphone.
Okay. Do you, do you think to yourself that if you were to go ahead and do it, that you'd be at home and that you'd be practicing over your DJ sets with it?
Mic, yeah. Get the right tone going through the mic there. No voice cracks.
How how often are you releasing music?
Um, my aim is to have two releases a month. I've kind of been doing that for the last 2 years, I'd say,
Is that for
which is
the
pretty. Yeah, it's pretty not aggressive, but it's yeah. There's a lot of music in the pipeline or all the time.
is this for the algorithmic sake, or is it because that's where your output is? Your output's there.
So being a part of Space Disco with Hatiras there has really given me the opportunity to not have to wait around for other labels' release schedules because I find a lot of the time when I'm signing other music, I'm waiting uh, 3, 4, sometimes like more than half a year on
Right.
certain records to come out. So it's really nice to have a home like Space Disco where we have more control on the catalog and how we want to place some songs. Yeah, I'm definitely grateful for that because sometimes I find it a little bit frustrating, just in a sense that you make a song, you're so excited about it, and then you have to wait 6 months for it to come out. I guess it's a good thing because it's showing the label's busy and ahead. But yeah, as a producer, I feel myself, I always just want to have, when it's done, okay, let's put it out.
Knowing that you could grab anything that you've done and have it online the next day, to all the outlets,
Yeah.
if you wish. What, why would you want to work with a different label that might slow down the process?
Well, I like there's certain labels I try to release on is I'm a fan first and foremost.
Hmm.
So waiting isn't the end of the world.
Is this a nod? Do you feel like a virtual nod coming your way, like when you're able to release with this label that you desire?
It's it's definitely well as a producer, you always have those labels. You're like, oh, okay, I play all their stuff. I gotta be on this label. I gotta be on that one for I'm a fan of so and so. They run this label. They're cool. I want to being when you send I find when you send music to a label, you're kind of like telling them that you want to be involved with what they're doing in a sense, right? So yeah, definitely. There's if I'm putting something out on a label, it's because yeah, I'm a fan first and foremost.
Did you did you think to yourself that when you first started making music that you would be in a place of where you would be able to be releasing this much music and this often, and that not only is that you're releasing music and that it's this often, it's like here's another hit that's gonna that's gonna land on
well,
the charts. Like,
well, thank you for that. Not not really, but working with someone like George Hatiras there, he's definitely helped me um, work like put the time in, work hard, and just keep it going. Keep your production at this level, and if you have them, put them out.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So yeah, definitely having that is a luxury, I think, especially in today with so many people releasing music. These labels only have so many spots and time to put things out, right? A year.
I think that at first it seemed really crazy to know that there's 10,000 songs a week coming out.
Yeah, it really
But
is.
then when I think to myself that I don't even I know for sure that right off the bat there's 5,000 I don't want to hear.
Yeah, that's
And
true.
then that and then out of that 5,000 I know that there's if I'm lucky there's 100 that I'm going to want to play.
Yeah,
So it seems like it definitely, if you think about it overall, if you blanket the statement, it's like, man, that's fucking nuts.
yeah, it's definitely oversaturated. Like it's technology's really given anyone and everyone a chance to put something up or
Sure,
which
of
is
course.
definitely good. That is a really good thing, that we should all be grateful that we're living in this time where we can even just do this.
But we all don't want to listen to all of it. I mean,
No,
there's
yeah,
there's 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 lots of stuff that it's not about whether or not it's good or bad music. It's just that I'm uninterested in it. That's
totally.
just how I feel. So I'm like I'm thinking to myself that technology does it. There is some things that I do I love, like curating my own playlists. That is cool. Or perhaps like a feature on Beatport, to shout them out, right? Being able to follow a label
Yeah,
or an artist so that I'll get the notification so that when they do release, I'm able to go ahead and check it out right away, which is great. You know that lessens the hunt, but it
yeah,
hasn't stopped. But it hasn't stopped the hunt. Promos right now, I feel is like a hunting ground. It's crazy because how are you constantly listening to promos every week?
yeah. So I try to dedicate one day and kind of just comb over everything that's kind of come in that week or that week and a half. Just because, yeah, I like being involved in the promo pools, feedback sections, and if people are gonna send me their music, for free to check out and possibly download and put in a set, I'll listen to it, you know?
Hmm. I found that it got so nuts that I was collecting music rather than and do you know am I saying I don't even know if I'm saying this right. Essentially, there'd be stuff that I downloaded that I liked a lot, but that ended up getting missed because so much was happening. So
Yeah.
and I'd be like, this is great. There, I can't believe, like, holy shit, I was able to download 15 new promos. So, but I still have hot tracks from the week before. I'm I'm
Where
not
do I
done.
play them all?
I'm not done. I'm not done rinsing them yet. Like,
Yeah.
they're still great. They're still great. You know, like, is it? It's like 7 days and now it's a turd. I mean, like, come on. That can't be. And
Yeah, no, totally. I totally feel that.
right, it's, and like I was just saying, there's so much great music coming out. So, and then I thought to myself, I've got to stop this madness. So now I'm only going on like every 2 weeks, and that
Okay.
way I'm giving something a chance, you know, at least to marinate with me.
Yeah.
And I feel like after 2 weeks, if I'm still absolutely in love with it and be like, oh my gosh, this is sticking with me. Although that rule feels like it's kind of out the door right now because it doesn't matter what happens over the next 2 weeks or so, but or maybe at least for the last year, like every two
Yeah.
weeks, every 2 weeks is the same 2 weeks.
I know. Every day is the same, man.
Well, it's sort of. I mean, that was one of the beauties of doing the show. I was about to say doing the podcast. I feel like the utility room has become so strong as a podcast, and then the streams are happening as well. And I love it all. I'm happy that each channel is doing its thing. Um, I've been absolutely connected with so many different people. You, right now. I mean, we haven't been online like this together
Oh yeah.
ever. You
Yeah,
know,
I
we
know.
hung out.
First
We
time.
hung out on New Year's
Yeah.
in 2018.
I think so. Yeah. It's been a while.
You know,
We should
so
definitely change that, but yeah, it's definitely been a
yes,
while.
brother, of course, of course. I feel like this has been it's been a super blessing. I'm really lucky that, this has happened. I'm able to hang out with people every week. So and hopefully everyone's not felt alone, and I've not felt alone,
Yeah,
and
there we
that's
go.
awesome sauce. Yeah, it's great. It's great. Do you have an idea of what you would like to do with your name as the brand as it is right now, where you want to take it? Do you have like a map that you've created?
Well, the maps I find kind of always changing, like every few months, I would say. But the end goal I do have for the brand and everything is to just put out music for the heads and for the older generation to kind of nod their head and being okay, you're doing. I try to make. I take a lot from the '90s, especially in house. So I guess I'm always trying to stamp this brand as like um, a genuine representation of that '90s, late like early 2000s kind of house, whatever we want to call it. And definitely, I would like to do some more headlining shows locally and kind of build more of a vibe and culture overall, and definitely internationally as well. But for the most part, it's just kind of like put out the music you will play, and like hope that it's resonating with the right people. And if I'm honest, right now, it kind of is resonating in the right way with those people. So I'm kind of just really happy that people are playing the songs or they're charting and Beatport or track source. So like I'm kind of taking it day by day, but just
It's
always
wild.
working.
It's wild to see. Congrats. It
Thank
must
you.
be real. It's got to feel super great, happening, and it's clearly organic. It's not like,
Yeah, I
you
try
know,
to. I
obviously
don't
I'm
like
I'm
the filler.
aware of what's up behind the scenes. You know,
Yeah.
not like I'm like plugged into Space Disco. I'm not, but you know, it's not like that's the label that has, you know, some management team that's, you know, going around the clock to, you know, create a viral
Yes.
meme in hopes that you listen to the TikTok clip, you know, and
Yeah.
then maybe stream. I mean, I'm not. I get that. I guess I just did like it's it sounded like it's a troll. I'm just saying that it's absolutely organic, and so when you see it happening and then it's going on, it's happening because people want it to happen. You know,
Yeah.
which is
I'm just
which
happy
is
people are
that's
resonating with it
super
all. You
cool.
know.
Right, right. Do you uh do you feel like jumping into the hot seat because you're about to?
Let's do it. Let's jump right in.
You've got three records that you know and that you love. The records that you use to either rescue a dance floor in a time of need or when everything's absolutely going great, no problem at all, but you know it's going to turn it up even more if you use these tracks.
Okay.
Holy shit, you just got bright. There you are.
Oh. Well.
What are these three tracks, Vincent?
So first and foremost, "You Don't Love Me," Armand van Helden. "Anytime, Any Place," that'll rock it. Um,
Dwayne Harding. Makes sense.
um, Hatiras's remix of "My Feelings" on Defected. I think that was '99.
Wow.
Still sounds just as good today. You wouldn't even be able to tell. And number three, um, this is a tough one now because there's so many. Now I got to pick one to go in. Hmm, give me a second here.
Hey,
Second.
take your time. The sponsors are the commercial comes after the show. So.
And I'd say Pasilda by Melee there. That's a party starter. That's a
Wow.
party starter right there, you know?
Wow. Very
Those
good.
keys, those keys.
It's a good time.
Oh yeah.
If we want to check out your music online, where should we go? Where would you like the audience to head primarily? Do you have spot that is a favorite?
Definitely Spotify is where I spend a lot of um, time pushing for streaming. And then a lot of my stuff usually has some sort of exclusive with TrackSource before it hits all the other stores. But yeah, Spotify, TrackSource, Beatport, whatever's easier for the people listening to find it, you know, they could find it there. I'm cool with that.
We are plugged in, and we're gonna stay that way too. It seems because there's tons of stuff happening nonstop, and so we adore having you with us. Thank you for joining us in the utility room.
Thank you for having me.
Any shouts out? You got any shouts tonight?
Sorry?
You have any shouts? Any shout outs? Am I
Uh,
cutting out? Is that what happened?
no, no, it was for like a half a second, but now it's all good. Um,
Okay.
shout outs, Space Disco Records, you know? Shout
Fuck
outs
yes.
to George. I'm not sure if he's listening, but George, you're the man.
Yes.
Katiris. We'll keep it short and sweet like that.
You know, I've been slightly frustrated. I've been having like stream interrupt this with the show sometimes,
Okay.
and sometimes the stream just cuts out. I thought that maybe it was because it was Skype that we're using,
Okay.
and some people like be like Skype. That shit's so old. I'm like, it does the exact same shit as Zoom, but okay, cool. I'll try Zoom. So I downloaded Zoom and I plugged it in. Firstly, I hated the way the interface looked in OBS. I just didn't like it.
I haven't even used Zoom.
Uh,
FaceTime or Skype is kind of
uh, can
where
I
I've
do
been at.
FaceTime through OBS? Is that a thing? That's not a thing, is it?
Sorry, you kind of cut out. You cut out
Yeah.
for one
See,
sec. You're gonna have to
see, there
repeat
it
that.
is. That's what I'm talking
It
about.
was
Like,
like a
and
slow mo. It was like a slow mo of
yeah,
your
yeah, we
sentence.
turn into Daft Punk heroes for a moment. That's what I'm saying is that just for a second, it happens sometimes that we get this freeze. And I was saying that I thought it might be Skype, but and then so I downloaded Zoom and I tried it out, and then the same shit. In fact, it happened. It felt like it was worse with Zoom. So then I jumped
Okay.
back to Skype, and then I rearrange the sources. And do you use OBS? I'm going to start talking about OBS. I'm about to alienate
I
like
don't use it, but
99% of everybody who watches this show right now. They're like, what the fuck are they even talking about?
I've seen some people use it, especially like for more of the like live sets. So I
Right.
kind of know what you're talking about, but I haven't.
Yeah.
You should put it in front of me. I won't know what to do. You know.
It's not like firstly, I don't know who's designed it, but thanks for it. It's dope. And I mean, I'm happy that it works. Clearly, I mean, it does right now. I think it's super clear and everything's okay
Yeah,
right
yeah,
now at the moment.
yeah.
But
Crystal clear. It's
yeah,
working
Chris,
all good.
it's been super fun hanging out with you tonight.
Thanks, man. Yeah, this is a good vibe.
Yeah, I had fun. Thank you. All right, and hey, listen, all y'all that are at home, in the car, on the phone, podcasting, streaming on your TV, however it's working, make sure that you're liking, commenting, subscribing, do the rating thing, do all the things that make the room go boom. And we will see y'all next week. Thanks a lot for tuning in.